What's up peeps, and welcome back to Cyril Play. Take you to work with me today. I'm going to be fitting some units today, kitchen units. There's absolutely no traffic today and I'm loving it. So I'll see you when we get there. So here we go, all the bits are here. We just need to check that we've got everything we need and get started. So we're going to start unpacking the first cabinet. We've got 4 cabinets all together. Need those instructions. Just make sure you've got all the bits. Ikea are very good with this. They're usually not missing anything, so let's hope for the best. What we need to do is find the 2 side pieces. This is the bottom piece, we can put that to one side. There's going to be a back piece, we need to put that to one side as well, and 2 bars to go on the top and all our screws. So first things first, we need to line up the 2 backs, and you can tell because there's a slit at the back where the backboard's going to slot into. Here's the instructions. We've checked that we've got all of this stuff. And now we're going to start putting the screws in and the doweling in as per the diagram. These larger holes you can see here, they are for the screw locks, so we're going to pop them in as well. Make sure that the gap on there is facing the hole, and you can tell the difference between the doweling holes and the screw holes because the doweling holes don't have a lock hole opposite the screw holes do. So we're just going to get on with putting these in and screwing this bottom piece into the side piece with the slot facing the same way at the back in line with the side slot. It should be a tight fitting, so you need to give it a little tap. I use a mallet. I've only got a hammer with me today, so what I do is use the packaging it came with. This stuff is brilliant for this, and then you can just hammer it into place and make sure you're not damaging your unit. Once you've done all of that, you need to slot the back piece in. That's easy enough to do. You just slot it right in, and there you go. We're going to start putting the brackets into these notches you can see at the top here. But first I'm going to put these bars on the top which will stabilize the unit. You need to click the little plastic bits on which will hold the back board onto it. You know how you stuff loads of things in a cupboard and the back comes out? That doesn't happen with IKEA cupboards, so they are brilliant. Now we're going to hammer the nails in to hold the backboard in securely. There's a little line on the, kind of like an indent on the unit, which tells you where to hammer your nails into. Now we're going to put these little things in at the bottom, just to make it lean onto the wall so it's stable. And now we're going to fit the brackets so that we can screw it to the wall. now Now we're going to fit the legs on. They've got screws, quite simple to do. You can get the plastic legs which fit into the holes at the bottom, but I prefer the metal legs because you can actually screw them on. They don't keep coming off when you maneuver the cupboard to get it into place. We need to fit these on first. They will be the things that hold your legs. There's a little line here on the side, a notched bit, and that goes where the end of your cupboard is. Just like this. We're going to use this little black wheel which will stop the leg twisting and lowering while you've got the cabinets in place or when you're moving them around. We've got a few other accessories that will go with these units. We'll use them when we start to put them on the wall. They're base units, so they are going to be on the floor, but we have to screw them to the wall to make sure they don't tip. And that's the next step after I've built the other three. So we've got our units lined up now, and all we've got to do is make sure that they are all straight. So check with a spirit level, and it'll be easier to do once you've done one right, then the others will just follow. But still check it with a spirit level. There's a little unevenness here, so I'm going to be fixing that now, and then we're going to screw it to the wall. Don't forget to tidy up as you go along. It does make life a lot easier not having packets and papers all hanging around under your feet. So now all the cupboards are in place, we're just going to mark the holes on the wall as I've done here with a pencil. We're going to move the units away from the wall just to give us enough space to get there with our drill, and we're going to make some holes in the walls and use some wall plugs that are suitable for your wall and for the job. You don't need the heavy ones for these ones as they are just on the floor, but if you're doing wall units, definitely use longer screws and bigger wall plugs and longer wall plugs. Once your screws are in place, you need to use these little brackets that hold it, so you need to put them just before the screw, and then you'll be able to adjust it how you need to, and then you need to screw all the units together. The next thing we need to do is put the worktop on top, and using these metal brackets above on the units, we're going to screw the worktop to the units. Here it is. I'm going to use the grey side. It has got a white side as well. The beauty of Ikea, you could use either side. That's all done. Now we need to put the shelves in and the doors on. The best bit. So with their shelves, they provide these little things that you just simply place into the holes so you can adjust your shelves however you like, depending on what you're going to be using these units for, and you can move them around later on as well. They're a little bit tight in the holes, so you might need to use pliers if you do change your mind and want to take them out. So here's all the holes. I count the holes from starting from the bottom or starting from the top to make sure that they're in the right place, because it can be quite deceiving when you're looking from an angle. So all our shelf brackets are in, and we're now going to slot the shelves in. They've got these little notches underneath. Make sure the front of the shelf is at the front. That will be the white bit. The back of the shelf will have just the chipboard showing, or some of the chipboard showing. Slot that into place. Press it down a little bit so that the brackets go into the notches, and we're done. We've got these nice little white bracket things, covers for your brackets. We're going to put them over the brackets so you can't see them, and it's a nice neat finish. They've got some notches that match the bracket, so you need to slide those in. Bit tricky sometimes. These ones are going in quite nice, and it looks a lot better when you can't see the brackets. We're going to screw the worktop in now. We're going to use these little bits, the little holes underneath, with some screws. You have to press down on the worktop a little bit while you're doing that. And here it is, the finished article. Now for the doors. We need to get these hinges on these little bits on the side. It's pretty easy to do. You don't have to screw anything in. You just line up the holes with the holes in the brackets, but no screws go in there. When you shut these little tabs, they will tighten up and you won't have to screw them in. Very simple. On the hinges that will clip onto these little brackets which will go on the cupboards, you need to make sure that there's a little arrow and it needs to face outwards, otherwise you won't be able to clip them on, and they are a nightmare to get off. So try and get this right first time. We're using the very top holes and the very bottom holes to get these doors on, and that is the only way you can do it. As you can see on the door, so in place, just press down on the tab and they are secure. Now to fit the door to the unit. So we've got our bracket in place, little arrow pointing outwards. It's more like a triangle. It's very difficult to see, but there it is, just there on the left. Now do not screw the middle screw, because that is to adjust the door. The two side screws are the ones you need to screw in to hold these brackets in place. If they're a little bit tight, just give it a little bang with the hammer. Not too much, just a little tap. And once they're in the right place, you can screw them in. They look brilliant. We are all done with that. We've adjusted our doors nicely. Now we need to take these blue covers off, which are the protective sheet, and put the handles on. I am extremely pleased with this. I love the handles. They look so good with the white cupboards. We're going to finish taking the protective sheet off after we put all the handles on, so we don't make too much mess. The way we go about putting handles on, we measure the holes of the handles and we mark them on the cupboards with a pencil, and we use a small drill bit the size of the screw of the handle and drill that very gently, because the backs of the cupboards do come apart a little bit. When I say come apart, it just kind of damages the inside of the cupboard a little bit, so you need to do it very slowly. I'm done at this house now. I'm off to another job. And I will be back to this house in a couple of days when her furniture arrives. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.